always powered by coffee, each and every time. That is a mighty Psycho promise. Here we are again, everybody. That's right. Welcome to another episode of Psycho's Platters, of course, always powered by this starting fluid. I know there's nobody in here yet, but I thought we would just chitty-chat for, I don't know, a short time, I'd say, before we get going. Let everybody come on in here. I'm slightly earlier than I said I would be, only because, unfortunately, I've got something I got to take care of later. What was I going to say? I want to say right off the bat, hello to Goth Angel. She, it's been a while since I brought Goth Angel up, and hopefully she's having a good day where she's at. Right? So, hey, right off the bat here, my pretty much my number one go-to guy. He comes in here. Like I said, if I was giving out awards, which I'm too cheap to do, you'd be getting one for being pretty much most of the time the first person in to see me here. And I'm glad, I really am. Thank you. And I thank everybody else too. So I hope, everybody had themselves a good day today here in mid-March. March the 13th, I think we're at this point. Hey, Will, how you doing? How are you, sir? So once again, I've got weird stuff. We'll talk in a minute here maybe about what the title, I try to come up with these goofy ass titles for you guys so you guys are head scratching. I'll admit sometimes it's clickbait, but to me it's fucking fun. That's why I do them anyway. Which of course I have titled this episode Heartbeats of a Partridge Let's Pretend and Other Treats. And there's going to be explanations about all that in a little bit. But I also wanted to thank, we got 2 new known subscribers in the Psycho universe here at the Psycho Network. Martin McGrath and Edward H.W. I hope I got that right. I'm just going off the top of my head on this. I just got home a few minutes ago. I've been running around almost all day today, hopping and bopping. And I hit up some thrift shops. I found an album that I have been looking for. I know as soon as I show you this, you guys are going to roll your eyes and go, why in God's name have you been looking for this album for almost 20 years? Maybe just simply because I'm a vinyl sadist, masochist, I don't know, sadomasochist, VSM, ladies and gentlemen, not BDSM, VSM. And so, but I also got some other little things, some different compilations of things. Got a couple 45s. I've got a signed Beatle-related book. Yeah, I tripped on this today from a currently deceased author. All right, so let's see. I wanted to give a quick update on Charlotte, my little granddaughter. She has gone through the surgery, and it appears that originally what they thought was an issue really was not an issue. So we're glad about that. She's stable, and the Children's Hospital said probably 2 more weeks instead, only 2 weeks. So that is a good sign of keeping her extra for observation. So that is a wonderful thing. Let's see here. What else did I want to bring up before I started into this? I don't know. I guess we could just go into this anyway, right? We're probably going to be between a 60 and 90-minute show today, guys. Originally, I was debating about, having it earlier than this because I almost was going to go to a concert tonight, but I'm like, I kind of have to be in the energy to do that. I don't know if you guys feel like that, but Pat Metheny is actually playing here, literally not even 5 minutes away from me, and I was just like, I barely know any stuff from Pat, and I'm like, I really just didn't have the money, was all what it came down to. But when I get paid next, I think I'm going to pull the trigger on some tickets for Bruce Coburn. He'll be here in late May. So it's a small theater that's been around at least, I think, since the 1930s, 1940s. They went and remodeled it, actually. This is the first show they're having tonight since they finished the remodel, so that'll be kind of nice. I'm a sucker for old theaters, whether they're abandoned or refurbished. I just, it's kind of neat, that's all. I've always liked that. And if you grew up in the, in the 50s, 60s, 70s, hell, even the 80s, especially with those old rundown theaters even, where, I don't know, they just still had a weird sense of charm, or maybe sleaze, if you will, depending on what theater in what part of town. You know what the hell I'm saying. So let's get this little bit started on the vinyl title riddle, if you will. So the heartbeats. Okay, what that is I came across 245s today, but the first one, which I only paid 50 cents for, you cannot screw this up. I stuck it in a capital sleeve because they barely had anything, but doo-wopper from 1959 on Philadelphia-based Guidon Records. 1 million years. Yeah, and the flip is, darling, I want to get married. Nice looking vinyl, to tell you the truth. I only see maybe one, on the one side I don't see anything. The other side I see one little feather scratch. So the heartbeats, see, the heartbeats. The second 45 that I picked up, and I picked it up because it was kind of odd looking. I'm not used to, I wasn't sure if this was maybe a Canadian release or something, but it just turns out that I guess for a little while they flipped the color of the label, but I picked up in a company sleeve James Brown on King, but it's an orange label, and I'm just not used to that, not from King. I'm used to either blue or red, and then, of course, they shifted to black later on. Back in the days of 78, King Records, which was based out of Ohio, the red label was for country records, and the blue label was for blues, you see. But when you get to this kind of stuff, an orange one, this is from 66, by the way. Or that. Hello there, Fred. How are you? So, that's part of the equation. So, heartbeats, Guidon 45. Of a Partridge. Oh boy, you guys are. See, everybody's going off and doing the welcoming committee. So, I'm kind of a sick bastard sometimes when it comes to things I look for in vinyl. I like to ferret out sometimes where the angels even fear to tread. Okay, I've been looking for this album for 20 years, I would say, just because I wanted to temporarily have it. I don't even know if I'm going to keep it. I might. I don't know. I know I'm going to keep it for an episode of Jukebox from Hell. Yes, you will be getting a extended episode of this LP, this 1973 LP. Oh boy. But in the 20 years that I have been trying to look for it on and off, I have never come across a copy in the wild. All right. And this one here I found in an antique mall in Northwest Arkansas today. Oh boy, you guys are going to get me for this. Yeah, that's right. Danny Bonaducci. Danny Partridge. Hey, Robbie, how you doing? Oop. I have a record just set. Shit, I'd like to, but I can't. I think St. Joe, Sundays I work. It's very rare. I kind of have to ask for them off. I know, just to let you know, Will, Saturday the 23rd, I don't know how close Sedalia is to you. They're going to have a record show in Sedalia. I don't know who's putting it on, but I know Dig It Record Barn from Joplin will be one of them. But yeah, I'd like to meet you eventually. I want to meet all my people. Yeah, I said my people. But yes, LOL to the Danny Bonaduce. But it's not just a regular album on Lion Records, which was an offshoot of MGM. You know, they had Lion, they had, what the hell was it? Sunflower was another one, an offshoot, which had, of course, the Grateful Dead and others. It's a promo copy. Oh, yes. It's a white label promo. I was like laughing about this to no end, but that's what it looks like. Special disc jockey record, not for sale. And I'm just like, oh boy. So I've heard very strange things about I'll Be Your Magician. I think it's supposed to be creepy or something like that. But I see that one of the authors is Levine, and I'm wondering if it's the dude that, oh God, he used to sing in the, was it Ohio Express? Yeah, because he used to co-write lots of things, even after that was over with. This scares me. Oh God, this scares me. I am taking a musical fucking grenade for you people. And I know you guys are going, well, we didn't ask you to do that, sucker. The end of side one, oh God. A cover of Paul Simon's The 59th Street Bridge song. I highly doubt after listening to this song, I'm going to be feeling groovy. Hi, Martin, by the way. So, side two. Oh boy. Barkin sounds familiar too. He's on a couple of these. Yeah. So let's read this, shall we? Oh God. Here. This is the liner notes from Danny Bonaduce. Firstly, the musicians are listed on here. They are. But guess what? Nobody I've heard of. Ben Benet, David Cohen, Norman Bergen, John Conrad, Ed Green, Bruce Roberts. Yeah. It says here, rhythm tracks recorded at MGM Recording Studios. Sweetening tracks recorded at Opal Recording Studios. Now, I have heard of Don Casale for engineer. I don't know from what, though. I cannot remember. And, of course, he's got to put special thanks to Mr. and Mrs. Bonaduce and family. And it says you're exclusively managed at that time by the 3-star organization from West LA, California. All right, so this is from, the liner notes are from Gloria Stevens, editor-in-chief of 16 and Spec magazines. I have no clue. Oh, you betcha. I have no clue what the hell Spec magazine is. You know, we're going to go from one teen magazine to another in a little bit here, and there's a reason. But let's read this. Hang on a minute. I found some new reading glasses. I know you guys are probably thinking, what the hell? But I like these better. Yes, I know they're a little girly on the sides, just a little, but I don't give a shit. They're a nice color, and I like them. So here we go with this. Once upon a time, in a fabulous fairy tale called The Partridge Family, there lived an adorable little boy named Danny. Though somewhat overshadowed by his Prince Charming of a big brother, Keith Partridge, little Danny's innate talent, offbeat acting style, and irresistible personality slowly but surely made him the most unforgettable and best-loved performer in all of Partridge-dom. In fact, Danny became such a success on ABC's TV, highly rated The Partridge Family series, that a number of scripts were created exclusively for him. Eventually, interest in Danny has shifted from fascination with his Danny Partridge performance to curiosity about what Danny Bonaduce is really like. This multi-talented 13-year-old hails from Woodland Hills, California, where he lives with his dad and mom, Joseph and Betty Bonaduce, well-known TV scriptwriters, 2 brothers and 1 sister, all of whom call him Dante, his given name. He's a fast-growing, 5 feet and 3 inches tall, weighs in at about 80 pounds, spellbinds you with mischievous hazel eyes, and you know his hair is red. Danny's interest in music has been a lifetime project, and his desire to cut records was sharpened by his constant exposure to Partridge Family series songs and musical performances. We're about halfway through, kids, trust me. About a year ago, so 1972 in this story, Danny decided he was going to cut a record. And he started to work with the usual Dante fervor, not to be confused with Ron Dante, that arises from our red-headed wonder is deeply interested in something! Exclamation point. By the time Dante was ready to go into the studio to cut, Lion Records was hot on his trail, aiming to be the lucky label, oh boy, to capture the singing talents of this young dynamo. They found their man, and the record sessions began. The results of these sessions with Danny and his record producer, Stephen Metz, are encompassed in this sparkling new album, Danny Bonaduce. If you've never seen or heard of Danny Bonaduce and or the Partridge Family series, well, you're in for a delicious surprise. If you're a Partridge Family regular and a longtime Danny Bonaduce lover, you'll be delighted and thrilled by this amazing album. For instance, it's for instance, you not only get to hear Danny do his unique and bouncy renditions of such standards as Turn Down Day. Oh, that's on the same side one. How did I miss that? Turn Down Day, oh my God. And 59th Street Bridge Song. You'll also get to tune into such captivating tunes, such as I'll Be Your Magician, You're Old Enough to Fall in Love, and his beautiful single release, Dreamland, all rendered in a special Bonaduce style that makes these and the rest of the album Danny's own. So sit back, relax, and enjoy some lovely listening while you explore yet another vista of the wonderful world of Danny Bonaduce. Gloria Stevens. Future Jukebox Journal episode. Oh boy. I gotta hold off for a second because I'm just chuckling for too fucking much. I'm so dumb. But yes, so that bullshit. Hi, Alvin, how are you? See, I even lost audiences just reading the fucking liner notes on Danny Bonaduce. You guys gotta stick around to the end. Unless it's the end of the world or your dinner's getting cold, and I completely understand. See, I said that, now more people left. Shame on you guys, just shame on you. All right, so now you've got Heartbeats of a Partridge. Let's pretend, yeah, I know. Whoa! Ah, diggity. Let's Pretend. So this is another 45 that actually I bought a few years ago in a collection. It came in 45 cases, actually. And I couldn't believe I found this damn thing. Now, this is from 1973, 74, if I remember correctly. 72, excuse me. 72. The Raspberries, Let's Pretend. Rest in peace, Eric Carmen. Rest in peace. So here's your front. Here's your back. There's a little order form, well, an entry blank, excuse me. So if you will permit me, I'm going to do a little reading of this to illustrate things. And then I have the behind-the-scenes story about this Raspberry car. I'm not kidding. I found out, I ferreted it out a little bit. So on this record here, you see there's the 4 heads of the Raspberries. So you got Wally Bryson, Eric Carmen, Jim Bonfanti, and Dave Smalley. Capitol Records, the Raspberries invite you to win the Raspberries Volkswagen. And actually, it's kind of cheesy but cool for 72, right? You can win a customized Volkswagen for your very own. Then it mentions who it says here, provided by Chuck Iverson Volkswagen of Newport Beach, California. The Volks have been customized to look just like a miniature Rolls Royce, with the famous elegant Beetle Rolls kit. Manufactured by NA Fiberglass of Atlanta, Georgia, and built for you by Hollywood car customizer George Barris. Now, you guys know, who've been around at least 60s and 70s TV, George Barris did a lot of stuff for a lot of movie and TV productions and made some very awesome cars. That's a fact that they're pop culture. So, you could win that. This first prize was the Raspberry Volkswagen Mach Rolls, right? 100-second prizes, complete sets of Raspberry albums. Now, mind you, 1972 Raspberries, how many did they have? Maybe three? Maybe three, I think. Consolation prizes, 500 consolation prizes, oh boy, of Raspberry Jam or Raspberry ice cream gift certificates from Capitol Records. Check out these far out features, man. On the remote. Special Raspberry Pearl paint and green vinyl top. Personally designed by George Barris for the Raspberries. Foxy fur upholstery created by California's leading auto interior design, Harold Mitchell. Formula super stock tires on Anson Sprint wheels. Quadraphonic, oh boy. We already had quad in 72, I guess. 8-track stereo system, out-of-sight sound with 4 speakers by Cartape Incorporated, California. And, well, this is kind of cool, a complete library of 100 Capitol 8-track tapes. 100, including Beatles, Helen Reddy, Rick Springfield, Leon Russell, and many more favorites. Now, that was that, right? I know, forgive me, I know I'm reading a lot today, but I like the story behind this shit. And as you can see, it says 62 cents, whoever bought this. Amazingly enough, there's not that many 45 copies that survive with the entry form on it. This is part of the reason why we're telling this story, other than Eric's passing, of course. So it's easy. Here's all you do. Fill out the entry blank or a reasonable facsimile. So see, you could have gone off and maybe ran a copy of this or something. Tell which one of the Raspberries you think is the foxiest. Oh boy, and why. And then in parentheses, pick your favorite, but you don't have to give a reason why. No purchase required. The winner will be chosen in an impartial random drawing. The decision is the judge's final. Odds of winning determined by the numbers of entries received. All entries must be received by May 31st, 1973. Winners will be notified in writing no later than the 15th of June, 1973. You may enter as often as you wish, but entries submitted by mail must be one entry per envelope. No alternate prizes will be awarded. Blah, 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 blah. Available only to residents of the continental United States and Hawaii. Alaska, you're screwed on this. Sorry. No Alaska. It said no families of Capitol Records, Peterson Publishing Company, and their advertising void were prohibited. Now, I should let you know, and I know you're not going to see this very well, but this is also another part of the story. So part of it was done by Star Magazine, okay? I know, teensy weensy. That was another one of these fan mags, okay? And basically your entry form here for the Volkswagen, just basically, I think blank is the boxiest Raspberry, because then you got about 5 lines, put your name, address, my age, and year in school. Oh boy, how creepy. Now, that I showed you this, you want, not that maybe you guys give a shit, do you want to know who won the damn thing? Because that's where I tripped on this story. Hang on a second. Oh, man. Let's see here. Hang on a minute. Oh man, hang on a second. Sorry. I had it and then it said web page not available, but I know that's just because of a timeout issue. There we go. Oh yeah, my buddy, well, you know, we've met, we're acquaintances. Brad Elvis from the Elvis Brothers and the drummer of the Romantics. He showed an autograph copy because he met them. And he says, this is where I tripped on this. He put this up 4 hours ago. What happened with the Raspberries Volkswagen contest? Did anyone win it? The answer is yes. And here's the story. This was put in an Eric Carmen forum, what I'm about to read, back in 2014. Who won the Volkswagen contest? Basically, I'm just going to cut through. I already explained what the prizes were. But I couldn't help it. This is the writer of this article, who is Ryan Richardson, wrote this. I couldn't help but wondering whatever happened to the Volkswagen. Dedicated dozens of Eric Carmen fans wanted to know too. In November 2014, while looking for star ads, remember I just showed you that, in another teen magazine issued by Peterson, a piece of the puzzle popped forth. A cursory Google search turned up a billboard announcement that the winner was from Florida, and that there had only been 31,000 contest entries. That's better than the lottery, guys. 1 in 31,000. And remember, we said that there was, how many? 100 second prizes and 500 third. So 601 winners and 31,000. The odds are decent. Having logged many years sleuthing for long-lost band members, I felt confident I could find Tina and maybe the Volkswagen. The uncommon spelling and surname helped narrow the search in a hurry, though experience told me maiden names often go by the wayside. Eventually, a search by family name, and I won't mention the last name, and the tiny Florida hometown led to a newspaper piece where Tina's married name was mentioned. A few minutes later, jumped onto his one-stop shop for people finding Facebook and sent off a message. That evening, a reply appeared, "I will give you a call tomorrow," to the author here, right? Here, though, I can tell you, here's the ad. That was the ad that was in the Other Star magazine. For a town fewer than 4,000 residents, Tina's big win was a big deal. There was a parade. The mayor presented a key to the city to Jim Bonfante, the Raspberries member that Tina deemed foxiest, and who'd flown in along with Capitol execs for the handoff of the car. With Tina being 3 years shy of driving age, the Volkswagen wound up with an older cousin. Though she did wind up learning how to drive a stick shift in it, and so I had to ask, where's the Volkswagen now? Her answer was nothing short of thrilling. It may still be in my aunt's backyard. With 4 decades elapsed in the coastal outdoors, the best case scenario would be a rusted out Volkswagen, a shadow of its former glam glory. Now, due to this, I'm going to show a faraway shot because I'm assuming she's not of age. I ain't in the mood. But there you can see that, okay? So she's with her in the front door of the car. After no word from her cousin and a month gone by since we first spoke, Tina decided to drive a half hour to her aunt's place. Look around revealed no sign of the mythic vehicle, inevitably vanished in the gulf between way back and when and way too late. Her cousin later confirmed the Volkswagen had been junked long ago. That's sad. Could it have really turned out differently? Probably not. But hey, a little dreaming never hurt. In fact, it's almost required for some things like morphing a Volkswagen Beetle into a souped-up Rolls Royce, or, well, setting off a sweepstakes entry. Just ask those guys who sang Let's Pretend. The most often asked Raspberry question: what happened to the Volkswagen? All of the answers here in full color. Now I'll show you this one because she's in a regular shirt. That other one, she was in a tube top. But there's a picture of Tina and Jim Bonfante from the Raspberries in front of it. How about that? See, you never know what the hell you're going to find out on Psycho Platter. Yeah, I know, right? Kind of weird, but there you go. Now you can play Mr. Know-It-All and tell the whole damn story about the rolls with raspberry rolls wagon. All right. I hope everybody's doing good out there. I know I lost half my damn audience. Oh well, things happen. So I do have a couple other things to show you too. Okay, as we've already gone through half an hour here. I did end up, I'm a big fan of the Carol Burnett show, okay? And I think I mentioned a few days ago, rest in peace to Steve Lawrence. Steve Lawrence did, in my opinion, one of my favorite bits from the Carol Burnett show, which basically was him playing the Godfather in As the Stomach Turns, which is like one of my favorite bits, which is making fun of soap operas and stuff, right? And I always loved the way that those went. But he played the Don, and he went off and he was explaining why he needed his loan money back. And one of the things was he said why the price of everything went up with inflation. He goes, even cotton, which of course was what he had. He takes the cotton out and go off and sings something about mommy, and then sticks the cotton back in and talks back the way he talked. Very silly. Well, you know, this is not the first. I paid $1 for this. This is not the first DVD of Carol Burnett show I've picked up. I want to say probably 5 or 6 of these different ones. I have different episodes. Now this one here does not say Time Life, but I know originally these came on Time Life. But you got the Carol Burnett show, the collector's edition. Here's the front. Here's the back. This comes with 2 episodes. Episode 1002, it says here, guest star Dinah Shore. So she's in one of them. I'm kind of nervous though, because it says here that she does a unique interpretation of Paul Simon's 50 Ways to Leave Your Lover. That makes me nervous. Right there. We get Tim Conway as the old man, blowing Pop Goes the Weasel on a hunk of Swiss cheese. I remember that bit. And then the other episode 722, aired March 1974. Guest stars Roddy McDowall and the Jackson 5. Yeah, you get Roddy and the Jackson 5. And Jackson 5 sing Dancing Machine and ABC. And Roddy is in one sketch in his full Planet of the Apes makeup. Damn dirty apes. So you've got this. Like I said, for $1, couldn't screw that up if I wanted to. I love getting those things. They're fun. I love Carol Burnett. I remember I was sad when they took that off the air. I watched probably half the run live, seriously, as they were going on. And I think it was Saturday night. I think they showed them. I could be wrong on that. Maybe it was Sunday. I don't know. But on CBS. I remember watching all those. They were fun. They were fun. Oh, my God. I even though I was a kid, just some of the slapstick shit, I was just like, my God, I was like in tears. But seriously, when Harvey Korman left, that was when it all went on the decline, in my opinion. Tried to have his own show, and that failed. I remember when Tim Conway, before he joined Carol Burnett, he had his own show, and that failed too. Although he was really, really good in McHale's Navy and a few other little places here and there. But, and with movies with Don Knotts, I thought those were fun. Apple Dumpling Gang, and they did one that made fun of Sherlock Holmes or something. Private Eyes, I think it was called. I don't remember. But some really fun stuff right there. For him, who's calling me? I don't know, nor do I care. Sorry, guys. I don't care if it is verified. If somebody wants to leave a message, they'll leave a message. Oh, yeah. So Carol Burnett. And then what was it? They even had Dick Van Dyke on. He was supposed to be for a whole season. And the funny part about it, in a weird way, was when Dick Van Dyke, I think he was only on 3 or 4 episodes, and he went to Carol, and Carol was kind of beginning to wonder too. She's like, because she really liked Dick Van Dyke. He was a friend of hers, vice versa, and believe it or not, it was Van Dyke that came up to her first and went off and said, "You know what?" He goes, "I really thank you for letting me have the opportunity to do this, but obviously this isn't working. And is there, I don't want to get sued, but is there just a way to release me from the contract? Because he was only signed for a year. And CBS had no problem. In fact, if I remember correctly, shortly thereafter, he had his own variety show for, I think, at least a season. And if I'm also right, didn't Andy Kaufman show up on an episode there? I think so. I could be wrong on that too. The last little find for the day, if Danny Bonaducci was not enough for you, oh boy, I got a Beatle-related thing. Now, I ended up paying a little more than I kind of would normally do, but considering that, unfortunately, this gentleman passed away in late 2022, and it's not personalized, I can tell you that he even dated this thing when he autographed it. It was November 9th, 2013, it says. I want to figure out when the book was made. There's some nice pictures in here, too. I'll show you that in a minute. 2000, this book was put out. Paperback edition, the one I got here in my hand, 2005. So, but we are talking about the Beatles, the Bible, and Badoga Bay, My Long and Winding Road, by Ken Mansfield, former U.S. manager of Apple Records. And I think that's kind of cool. I couldn't believe that. I mean, it wasn't there a couple weeks ago, so this is a relatively new find. And I normally would not have pulled the trigger at this price point, but I'm like I said, find out he's deceased, and I'm curious to see the read. It's only about this thick, but there's Peace and Love. He signed it, Ken, and but there's a neat little pictures there, and what he also shows is this is either a lobby card or maybe a complete band signed copy of Help. It's one or the other. Here's a nice little shot. I know this can be hard to show this because of the crease, but Beatles at a press conference. Ringo is there in the corner. Let's see. Is there any other neat little pictures? Oh, geez, this is a weird picture of Ringo. Ringo and Ken. Look at that. He's all. I almost don't even recognize him. That's kind of strange. Okay. This might be from '90. It looks like there's chapters and things. Oh, that's funny. Now, I didn't know this, but it says here for September of '90, Ringo, Ken Mansfield, and attorney Bruce Grackle dine at Portofino in Beverly Hills to discuss production of Ringo's first official studio album since '83. So it must have taken, about almost 2 years to do Time Makes Time? Yeah, it says here March through September '91 in 6 different LA studios. Good God. Jeff Lynne, Peter Asher, and Phil Ramone helped to produce that. Let's see. Yeah, Ringo just looks so weird in these pictures. But Ken's on the left and Ringo's on the right. Very strange. Like, pictures on that. Let's see. That press conference one I showed you, that was Brian Epstein in the just first off camera to Ringo's left. That was from '65. It looks like late '65. I'll show you one more, maybe. Oh, here we go. I was no fool, so I didn't come home empty-handed from the day on the hill. This is '65. This is the first personalized item I received from the Beatles. Possession, like so many things, is transient, and this album now occupies a treasured spot in someone else's collection. Oh boy. But there it is. So in '65, they signed that album. Boy, oh boy. I'm afraid to find out, how much that is. Oh, wow. And he also has a copy of Revolver. He says, I received this autographed copy unsolicited from England. It seems that when a Beatle record was released, this is his words, was released, all other artists' records and airplay revoked around what little time was left aside from the Beatles' airplay. Revolver was especially well received by the radio stations, and I felt like I had a gun to my head by suffering stations when unauthorized exclusive advance airplay started on this classic work. I would then walk out of the offended station after trying to make amends and into the waiting arms of the screaming managers and agents of my other unfortunate unplayed artists that were also on Capitol. Last one here. This one is Ken and Paul McCartney as they leave a Hollywood restaurant, June 1968. So yeah, Ken Mansfield. That could be a good read. I'm looking forward to that. I like reading inside stuff. I don't know what it is with the library. I went and I put another request in for that Mal Evans book, and I don't know. They're wondering if the dude that had it beforehand might have taken it, and I'm like, dude, if you take a library book, you're going to be paying more than what you would have paid at the bookstore. They keep it up this rate, I may have to go buy my own damn copy. And I do that sometimes, but, I just like going to the library. Who doesn't like going to a library, right? I know. These youngsters that all they do is attach to their phones. I get it. But, I don't know. Oy vey. So, let's see. What can we talk about here for a little bit? Because we're on 42 minutes. Any concerts that any of you guys are going to coming up? Anything recent? They announced a new one. We are getting as soon as I tell you the headliner, you guys are going to be scratching your heads on this because it doesn't really make much sense. Well, look at you. Remember Shenanigans, ladies and gentlemen, when she'd show up there from time to time? This is Shenanigans. It's me, Shannon. Me and Grandma are watching Hi, Grandma. That's right. In the words of Moby Grape, hey Grandma, they cut a 45 of that. But so there's a blues fest coming in September to nearby Bentonville at a place called the Momentary, which I've never been there. It is outdoors. And don't ask me what this stands for because there's dots after every one of them. It's called Serpent Fest is what it is. No, it's not about snakes. It's a blues fest is really what it is. But the headliner is Slash. Yeah, Guns N' Roses Slash. Slash's solo Slash. He's going to be here in Bentonville. Hey, Lisa, how are you doing? Good to see you. So, $80 for general admission. And if you're a student, like a college student, I think you get in for like $60. And there's like 4 other acts before Slash. I don't think I've heard of any of them. But, so Slash is going to be coming here. Is she, she's 89? Oh, I thought she was in her 90s. See, because if she was 99, then I could sing really bad Toto and go, 99, I love you. But she's not, so I don't know 89. Wasn't there a railroad song about 89? I know that for the big 89 in Chicagoland was WS, the big 89. I miss those days. Lisa says, 89 impressed. If I make it to 89, I'm going to Vegas. Nothing wrong with that. Viva Las Vegas. What was the name of that movie with Nicolas Cage? The one where It's all Elvis impersonators or some shit. I'm trying to remember the name of that thing. That's what I think of immediately. I tripped on a lot of Elvis albums today, too. Could not believe it. Probably the most Elvis albums I've seen in quite some time. But I wasn't interested. I don't really collect Elvis albums anymore. I just really don't have a desire to. Now, 45s, if I come across them real cheap, or the EPs, I have a handful of EPs with the covers from the 50s. I do, including one of the gospel ones. I'll buy those. I'll buy 45s with picture sleeves. I've got a bunch over the years I found for that, but I just kind of, I guess, gave up. The only thing I currently have right now, and I showed this a long time ago, is I've got a 1966 with the shrink. Somebody taped the shrink back up real weird with the hype sticker, and for spin out. And basically the hype sticker said, limited time only, bonus 8x10 photo, which the photo was in there. I found that in town, and I only paid $7 for the whole damn thing. Yeah, honeymoon in Vegas. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You know, you all are a well of knowledge. That's what I like about 3,000 miles to Graceland would be another one too. But you know, speaking of hype stickers, so on this Bonaducci album, right around here, there would have been a square sticker that says a star of the Partridge Family ABC TV show. The question is, though, was he having a ball? Yeah, I know. That was a bad pun. I don't care. But I did say Nicolas Cage. You know, anytime I think about Nicolas Cage, which I don't often, thank God, because that'd make me real weird, but and how he seems to always emote the same damn, he talks the same way. If you guys are a big fan of the show Community, oh God, I love Community. The movie's being made. It is being made. Everybody's in it but Chevy Chase. Gee, I wonder why. Other than his character being dead. But they're working on a movie. It's supposed to be done and released by the end of this year, so I'm told. I'm looking forward to this. So there's a bit in Community where Abed is going to film class. And he stayed up all night like a big marathon of all these Nicolas Cage movies, and his mind got turned to mush. And like the ending part, he jumps on like the teacher's table and goes, "I'm a cat. I'm a big cat." And I'm going, "Oh my God, that's funny." Troy and Abed in the morning. You do realize there's no cameras here? What are you talking to? Good talk, Troy and Abed in the morning. That sounds like something I would have pulled off if I was in my 20s back in junior college. Like a fake radio station. What's he talking to? The microphone and the record player's not even connected. Who's he talking to? I'm horrible. He was fixated with Elvis, even married his daughter. He wasn't he? That was a strange marriage, from what I'm told. Very strange. But I also thought I heard that he was nice to her. I mean, he loved her, I guess. I mean, I did not hear much dirt when it came to that marriage, as opposed to Michael Jackson and that Danny Coe character, who he's dead now too, I'm told. Shortly after Lisa died, yeah, he died too. Conspiracy? Maybe. You know how much of a conspiracy theorist I am. Or was he allowed in Graceland? Well, yeah. No, it's not too soon. We can talk about this. You know what's really funny, though, or I shouldn't say funny, but Priscilla made a speaking engagement about an hour and 15 minutes away from here recently. If you happen to live near Nixa, Missouri, by the way, they have a new performing arts center there. Priscilla showed up there. That I thought was weird. She didn't come anywhere around here. Yeah, You know, and here's the thing. Let's think about this for a minute, even if we don't really care to. So I cannot remember if when, Michael Jackson had the Beatle copyrights at that point. And Lisa was, I'm assuming, heir to Elvis's copyrights. Could you imagine if that marriage lasted a while longer and a kid was created? That kid would be the richest damn kid, probably at least in the United States. You're talking about that kid would have been sitting on a perpetual, virtual, advanced gold mine if they would have had a child. They would have been a strange child, though. What do I mean by that? Just the personalities of those two combined. It's all genetics, kids. All genetics. But, I mean, let's face it. He or she would have gotten tons of money. You get comment of the day. I think MJ wasn't into it. Well, yeah, I don't know. That's the thing, though, right? I don't know. None of us are really going to know what the hell went down unless, like, okay, because, all right, I wasn't planning on talking about this, but we'll touch on it. We'll just touch on it. Yeah, no kidding. I remember watching that day. I just happened to have the damn TV on, and I'm like, I was going to turn, I'm like, you know, I want to see this car wreck. I do. I want to see this car crash live or taped live, whatever. That was kind of very off. But MJ, now I don't know about you people when we were growing up. Were you a fan of Jackson 5, Michael Jackson? Jackson 5, you bet. I loved that stuff. Do you know my favorite song probably from Jackson 5 is still Stop the Love You Save May Be Your Own. I just like the way that whole damn song goes. And it cooks. That song cooks to me. And I remember hearing that actually before on the radio on the Jackson 5 cartoon show. Do you remember that? I barely remember the Jackson 5 cartoon show, which was so goofy. I wonder if they even got that out on DVD. That would be almost funny for me to get eventually. I'm in no hurry to go get it. I know, right? I do not understand the whole Debbie Rowe thing. I don't. But whatever. So what I was getting at in the long-windedness of me is that, okay, so, and I have to mention allegations. We have to do this. But I'm not in the mood to get my video taken down or get sued or whatever. So, allegedly, okay, having all the, a plethora of kids over the years at Neverland. All right, allegedly. I've heard different things. Macaulay Culkin denied. Corey Feldman denied. I'm sorry. I don't know how you feel about Corey. I think Corey's a fake ass. He is. He is just really playing the victim card. Major. I'm the one who was a victim was the other Corey, okay? That guy I actually feel sorry for. Corey Haim. I don't feel sorry for Corey Feldman one bit. He is just whatever. But they supposedly stayed at Neverland for at least a night. Now, I don't know who to believe. I don't think I can believe Corey. Would I believe Macaulay Culkin a little bit over Corey? Maybe. But let's also put another point into fact here. So we go from Home Alone to Monster. If you remember that messed up movie. Oh my God, I'm like, what the hell? Yeah, Saw Leaving Neverland. You know, I don't know if I ever saw that one. Oh, yes, thank you. That's right, Webster. Now, what the hell was that kid's name for Webster? Help me out. Throw it in the comments, please, and thank you. But yeah, that was a nut. Is he even still alive, that kid? Emmanuel Lewis, that's it. Emmanuel Lewis. Is that kid still alive? Well, he ain't no kid anymore, but I mean, is he alive or is he dead too? Because that's another one you'd want to talk to. But so here I thought was and this is on YouTube, but you're going to have to do a little digging. Yeah, thank you. Yes, Emmanuel Lewis. And so, what was his name? God, help me, guys. Why am I wish sometimes my brain had worked better. Damn COVID brain. Aaron Carter? Is that the one that died in the last year? I think it was. Nick Carter's brother, right? From Backstreet? NSYNC? Backstreet, I think. So, Aaron was interviewed. Now, he's older. This interview took place, I think, a few years ago. And he mentioned a story. And this was after, there's a picture of Aaron and MJ. There is. Not Photoshop, they did meet. Yeah, thank you. So it was Aaron. Yeah. It's only been a year, huh? Jeez. Feels longer than that. But, so he went off and mentioned, after meeting MJ and that photo was taken, this is quite some time later when all those allegations started to come out. Oh, 2022, okay. Started to come out about all these people that stayed at Neverland, blah, 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 blah. Oh, you Googled it. Okay, thank you. So, supposedly, this is his version, but it's on YouTube, so he lived with his mother at the time when shortly after the visit took place, I guess, in the allegations. Now remember, this is all alleged. And some people proclaiming to allegedly be from the FBI knocked on their door. There was 3 gentlemen, I think, if I remember correctly. 3 gentlemen asked if they could speak, and the mother let them in the house. And after hearing the story out of Aaron's mouth, the 3 gentlemen said, how much money would it cost for you to change your story? And I'm going, what? What? How much money would it cost to change your story, Mr. Gardner? And then I started thinking, if that's true, that interview and that story, if that's true, how many of these allegations are really false? All of them? Half of them? Listen, it almost doesn't matter anymore. The dude's dead. Was it 2009? I think he died, or 2010. MJ's been dead all that time. It's pointless now. His reputation, the fans still love him, and it's just downplayed. It's just really downplayed. And I jumped off the MJ train. Yeah, okay, I'll admit, I bought Thriller when it first came out. I bought Off the Wall back when that came out, but as a cutout. I didn't buy Off the Wall brand new. I remember getting it as a cutout for like $2.99 or some shit. But I bought Thriller almost brand new. I didn't get it the first day it came out, or the first week. I'd say the first month. I bought it when it came out. August. Good God. So you're telling me it's going to be 15 years on the 25th of August? Jeez. And this is the other thing, too, though, speaking of that really quick. Supposedly, remember all those songs that supposedly are in a, we haven't heard much, have we, in 15 years? It's not like, as opposed to Prince, where we're getting a lot of unreleased stuff. So what the hell's the deal about that? Sony has all the tapes for MJ and Warner Brothers. What is it, WEA, Universal? I can't remember. They've got the Prince tapes, and they've been releasing things left and right over the last few years. But yet they barely released, did they even have one album's worth of unreleased stuff in 15 years? And I'm just going, supposedly it was at least 100 songs. I'm like, where are they? So, but then again, Van Halen said the same thing. Eddie Van Halen says, I've got about 100. I think it was in fragments for him, but that's a different story. So, how many, though, do you really think? I mean, I jumped off the Jackson train. I bought Bad. To me, it was off. I liked maybe half the album. That was it. And that's when I jumped off the Michael Jackson train, because I was like, I didn't like the next one either, which was Dangerous, right? Black or White, the Slash solo. And he did pick great guitars, though, for at least certain spots, right? Eddie Van Halen for Thriller. Steve Stevens, if I remember correctly, for Dirty Diana, and I loved Smooth Criminal, and then Slash for Dangerous, for Black or White. But I wasn't a big fan of that song, so whatever. But that's, you meant June, not August, okay, yeah, but 15 years. So, I don't know. It's moot now to even figure out how much of this really was fake and how much was real. I guess once, if there's one true story, you're just one person. You did it. That's all there is to it. Now, not to change topics for a second, because I know I lost some of you people. I'm down to 4, but, I appreciate you people being here. But the Vince McMahon thing, yeah, I know, I shifted it to wrestling for 2 minutes. How many are going to really get uncovered from all of this? Because it's not just Vince and John Laurinaitis. Okay? Brock Lesnar, he's back, he's reinstated. What did Brock go off and say? And I didn't get to read the whole story. I apologize, because some of it was blocked for some reason. But I think, if I remember correctly, the gist of it, the allegedness gist of it, was that he just had a particular proclivity of seeing female urination videos. I don't know how true that is, but that was it. There wasn't anything else. While that might make you a little twisted, I never was a fan of that kind of stuff. But if that really is the case, that's why Lesnar's back, instead. So it was not more of a severe charge. The thing is, though, is I was a fan of wrestling. I still am a fan of wrestling. I love wrestling, okay? I do love watching parts of WWE still. I always will call it WWF. I don't give a shit what they say. But, and I love that, and I love AEW, too. I really haven't watched any NWA. Billy Corgan's organization. I do know about the alleged snorting of the cocaine from Father Mitchell, which kind of took him down to online television now, instead of could have been on a legitimate TV show for NWA. I don't know, whatever. But there's going to be a lot more people, I bet, touchstone on all of this. This is all alleged. The names that have been thrown out, okay, for this, which they are at least under investigation, okay? They are, allegedly, okay? We already have Vince's in on it. John Laurinaitis. I can't talk today. Stephanie McMahon. Triple H, okay, John Cena, for some reason, too. I don't know. I'm not going to mention the other name. But the other guy, I'm not a big fan of, and I'm going to tell you why. This has nothing to do with Vince McMahon. This is something else. Okay? I'm not a fan of The Rock anymore. I used to be in the 90s, early O's. I was a big fan of The Rock. And I don't know if I brought this up in an episode here or not, but there's two things that gave me the willies after seeing what I saw. Hi, Viclina. Hi, Kitty. If the cat's watching too. But two things. A, there was an SNL. I don't know if it was the same episode, because I think Rock showed up a couple times as a guest on SNL. But him and Tom Hanks, it's on YouTube too, you can watch it if you want. It turned my stomach a little, they were making Chomo jokes, those two. It's like a minute and a half segment. And I'm going, well, I already know allegedly Tom Hanks is into that stuff. I don't know how true. But I'm like, I don't think it's funny. I don't think any of that kind of humor is funny at all. Which leads me to the last thing I'm going to tell you about. This is a lot more recent. It was the last time that The Rock guested on SNL. The last sketch of the night, and you can see this on YouTube. It was there as of last week because I wanted to make sure because I showed somebody else this sketch. The sketch was about a villain's yearly convention where there was a contest for the most diabolical machine, and a couple basic villains explained, I got a freeze ray, I've got a shrink ray. Then we get to this guy named Roy. That's the character Rock's playing. And Roy says, I made Robo-Chomo. And people were laughing about this. The studio audience was yucking it up. And now, not big laughs like if there's a really funny sketch where you hear all the audience, oh, no. This was reduced. You could tell. Maybe like a quarter of the audience was laughing about this. And I'm going, what the hell? And so basically he explains how he made Robo-Chomo. And I just want you to go see that for yourself, okay? I'm not going to get into this. But I couldn't believe he did that damn sketch. And it turned me off immediately to him. I think all that stuff is disgusting. That's my opinion. Anybody that's into that stuff, I immediately like, nope. So that's why, due to what the two examples I just told you, that's why I'm not a big fan of, can you smell what the, no, I'm not a fan of him. Go look him up yourself, though. Be your own YouTube detective. And go look at those two skits and tell me what you think down the line. Okay. They did go off and mention, though, to make it a little more lighter note for the moment, that they've announced some of the candidates for the 2024 WWE Hall of Fame. Now, the selections on some of these, I started going, huh? Now, I'm glad that they're actually pulling some old schoolers to finally get recognized. The one, though, that really kind of made me shake my head and go, huh? Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali was the first person mentioned. And I'm going, why are we putting him in when he only really made one appearance at a WrestleMania? Why? I mean, I know that he went also up against Inoki from Japan. Why? To me, that does not warrant being in the WWE Wrestling Hall of Fame. He's not a wrestler. He was a celebrity. Okay? And so they have him, Bull Nakano, who decent female wrestler. Terry says, did you ever notice every time The Rock does some good deed for someone, there's always... Right. And isn't it... Somebody mentioned in the press that John Cena is supposedly the one that has doled out the most Make-A-Wish requests or something. I'm sorry, this is just me. I'm never going to be a celebrity anyway. I'm an old fart. But let's say I was. I would donate to charities. I would go and visit hospitals or whatever on my time because I wanted to. I would never. In fact, I would be like, I would either show up unannounced to wherever I'm going to, or B, if it was a donation, I would say, look, I'll give you this money. I want to give you this money. But I don't want you telling them who donated this money. Because if you do, I'll retract the donation. Just to keep it quiet and anonymous. That's how I would do it. Because I'm sorry, if you're going to do good deeds, great, fantastic. If you're doing a good deed and somehow the press accidentally catches you doing it and you didn't plan on it, that's something different. But when you're setting up your own PR machine and you're calling TV stations, radio stations, and so even internet like TMZ, and you're like, hey, I'm going to be doing this in about 30 minutes. Not a big fan of that. That's total phony to me. And I'm sorry, I know I'm going way off of music stuff, okay? So you have to forgive me, and I appreciate the 8 people that are here right now. But as I've grown older, I've realized really how sadistically evil Hollywood is. Actually, all of the entertainment industry. Some of the sports industries, obviously. Sports entertainment, like I said, and WWE isn't the only one that has done these things in the past. I've read biographies and saw lots of interviews, but as far as for Vinnie Mac is concerned, this shit started all the way back in to 85 at least, with the whole female ref thing. You would have thought that a man that had lots of money could have gotten escorts every day of the year if he wanted to. With legitimate money and legitimate escorts. Why he went this route? The only thing I can think of is it was all mental. When you get lots of money, you have the illusion of lots of power, and that you think you can get away with anything and everything. And even if a small percentage of all of the allegations that were mentioned in the last couple months were true, maybe the karma train finally landed. Because allegedly, he's gotten away with a lot of stuff in almost 40 years. And and another thing that, I didn't even know about Jimmy Superfly Snuka and killing his girlfriend, whether it be intentional or in a roided rage. It don't matter. He got away with it because allegedly Vinnie Mac went into the police station with a briefcase full of money. I think Dark Side of the Ring covered that too. And I'm just like, wow, what the hell? Because he had a show that night. How much is it going to take? I'm like, what in God's name? Yeah, exactly. Nancy, that's right. We should be feeling sorry for Nancy and all the victims like that. All the ones that we do know. Nancy, Rita, some of the Ring Boy scandal, which, by the way, I'm going to make a shout out here, okay? Wrestling with the Devil is an excellent channel. It is a very cool podcast done by a gentleman named Lee Cole, okay? C-O-L-E. Now, I know he's never going to see any of this. I'm not even going to tell him I'm sending people his way. But if you care to, just say Mighty Psycho sent me. He'll probably go, who the fuck's that? But a really he ferrets out, and he just, I know he's at part 1 right now. I don't know when part 2 is going to come out, but okay, so Lee Cole's brother Tom, who was rest in peace, Tom was one of the original Ring Boys, okay? Well, I'm not even going to go into that story. Go listen to his channel, he'll tell you all about it. But there's another one that has now come out, and it was relatively an exclusive for Lee. That gentleman's first name is Sean. They had part 1 of the interview. So you get a different Ring Boys story about what went down. And it was a year later than Tom's, see? So you'll get a different perspective. Yes, they are. Exactly. Yeah. And, I'm going to... Oh, my God. Okay. Do I want to go here? Why not? I've gone everywhere else. Yeah. Oh, I saw that live. That was horse shit, that whole thing. And I'm just like, Bret Hart was not one of my favorite wrestlers, okay? And yes, I heard he could be a complainer. But I also heard he treated his fans like gold, okay? I'm Team Bret Hart all the way over Shawn Michaels. Although I'm glad that those two, I don't know why they did it publicly. They should have did it behind the scenes, but I understand why to get the ratings and all. But I heard, though, that ever since Shawn became a born-again Christian, he wanted to try to make amends, and Bret Hart was one of them. I don't know how true that is. But, so I'm glad, at least the behind-the-scenes people, that both of them could at least hate Vince. That's another one. Moolah, I did not like her. Here's the thing. Some of the wrestlers gave those vibes. Moolah was one of them. I saw Moolah wrestle a handful of times. I didn't like her. I didn't like her personality. I didn't like any of that stuff. Now, I'm also going to tell you something else. I don't like Brock Lesnar either. He gave off vibes also. Vinny gave off vibes way before I knew about Vinny. They just gave off those vibes. But Brock, he had these weird vibes coming off of him, even if he did get himself cleared. I never liked him. I never liked Lesnar. I just never did. Yeah, 1985. That's right. Wendy did get royally screwed. And I'm sorry. Oh, God. I might have met Wendy in the 90s. I do not remember. Okay. There was a couple female wrestlers that came through the Northern Illinois indie circuit. And I wish I had my programs from back then. Then I could tell you guys even more of who I've met. Spider Lady. That was a bunch of bullshit. I remember. I didn't see live. I saw a clip of that after, way after. But I mean, I've seen a lot of former WWE and some WCW people, maybe an NWA or one or two. And I do know that I saw a couple of the midget wrestlers. Little Tokyo, for one. I remember he was weird. Little Tokyo was a little crabby that day I met him. But, he still signed autographs. Him and both of the wrestlers were both in WWF. Littlebrook was supposed to be there. He, at the same time, he was a no-show. Littlebrook was a no-show. Who else was supposed to be there that day? Colonel De Beers. Colonel De Beers was supposed to be on the card that time, too. He was a no-show also. But I thought I heard he was, ill. That's the reason why he didn't show up. Princess Victoria. I would have to look. Now, I know what you guys can say, but maybe it's because I'm a little biased. Maybe it's because I got to see and meet her as she was starting to be famous. But Joni Laurer, China. You know, I think China got screwed over too. I really do. What China did to herself was her. But there was a few people behind the scenes that, you know, I mean, YouTube, I think actually has a part of the video. One of the last things that she did, she blamed Vinnie Mac and Triple H, especially. She called him out. I like China, okay? When I saw her in the 90s, it was, I can tell you it was within a week after the first Slammy Awards. That's when I met her, because I met Triple H with my kids. He came to Crystal Lake, Illinois, to the expo, the Crystal Lake Expo, back when towns had expos, where you could go get free shit and get introduced by all the businesses. That's how I met a lot of sports people. But for the 1 year, they got a wrestler instead of the normal baseball, basketball, hockey, football. They went wrestling. I heard later that it was because one of the guys on the board was a huge wrestling fan, and they wanted to bring a wrestler in that was current. And that's how we got Triple H. And China was there too, but she was sitting at the next table over. I was one of the few that actually yip-yapped with China, and she just seemed, well, a hell of a lot more innocent. You know what I'm saying? She actually told me a little bit of her backstory. We got to talk for maybe close to 5 minutes at least. And I got her to sign the item too. I have it somewhere. I do. I'm not sure where. It was a card. They were doling out cards for the expo. He would hire wrestlers from other companies just to bury him. Yeah, no shit. I hated what he did to both of those two. Yeah, damn it. You know, whether you like Dusty or not, and I heard that, at least behind the scenes, nobody really cared for him as a booker. But as far as for, you know, who would have thought Dusty Rhodes would have been such a legend? Such, I mean, what do you say, son of a plumber? But let's face it, Dusty, Dustin, Cody. I like Cody. I like Dustin too, Gold Dust, and his own character. I still remember, go look up on YouTube, Dustin Rhodes, WCW 7, and go look at that. It's real. It is a shoot. He does a shoot in the ring, not a work. At least that's what I was told. Now, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he fooled me, but she had the long hair and braids and headband, Princess Victoria. Oh, God, you know what? I really liked Sherry Martel. I used to think she was hot back then. You know what? I know China looked a little manly at first, right? But I liked her too. I know, right? That's why he did it. So that he could get up in the world of the WWE. He was playing the game. See what I did there? Never mind. But, yeah, I know, we went off topic, didn't we? We just started about talking about all kinds of shit. But Sherry, I would have loved to have met. For some reason, I also dug Luna Vachon. Luna was supposed to show up at a card in Rockford, Illinois. I think this was like 2002, I want to say. I made it to that. There was a lot of people advertised. I can tell the three that made it, all right? So King Kong Bundy was the top. I have pictures of me with King Kong Bundy. I have pictures of Hacksaw Jim Duggan, okay? Now, Bundy, he only did a move or two. He was there as a manager, okay, for this event. It was a wrestling organization out of Beloit, Wisconsin, okay, that was also in that area. So King Kong Bundy, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Gangrel was there. Now, for Hacksaw and Gangrel, according to what I heard, this was one of the first matches for both of them coming back after, for Hacksaw, it was cancer surgery, and for Gangrel, I want to say his back. I could be wrong on that. But those are the three that made it, and I thought they did commendable jobs in the ring. I did. And like I said, I got really cool pictures of all three of them with me. I'll show them sometime. Oh, excuse me. And then the two that didn't show up was Luna, because, you know, Gangrel and Luna Vachon were still, if I remember correctly, married at the time. That had to have been a strange marriage. But, you know, Gangrel, I cannot remember his real name, actually kind of talked lovingly about Luna. You know, he was straight to the point. I think he always cared for her. And I think that's great. I bet you Luna did too. But whatever, you know, sometimes you end up being better best friends than you are married. I know several people that are like that. Hey, Glenn, hang on a second. Let me see if I can do this. How you doing, Glenn? I just got done telling Fonzie he could live up above the garage since we have that empty apartment. Watch Father Dowling Mysteries. 8 p.m. 7 Central. Anyways, so Doink did not show either. Which Doink? I heard it was Matt Bourne. Could be wrong on that, but because there was 3 different Doinks that were going around the United States at that time. And I'm just like, oh boy. But supposedly the one that really, and he just outright canceled. I heard later from like somebody I was listening that was like, he was calling him a son of a bitch. That's what he called him for canceling. And I'm like, But yeah, Luna was sick in their hotel room in Beloit, Wisconsin. And I'm like, I felt bad for that. Yeah, Bourne is the Doink. That's right. I never got to. I don't think I ever got to. Did I get to see Doink? I'd have to go through all my old stuff. Right. So, yeah, in that promotion, the only other one I got to meet, and I have pictures of him too. A few years later, Larry Zbyszko. Yeah, Larry Zbyszko. Nice guy too. At least I thought so anyway. That was mid-2000s, I think. I met him too. I met a bunch of people. Down in Springdale at the end of the month, as far as I know, the card still shows Mr. Monday Night, Rob Van Dam. He will be there, and so will a dude by the name of Brian Cage. Now, if you're an AEW watcher, I don't have cable, so I have to watch the highlight stuff on YouTube. This is how I keep up with things. And both of them are doing a hell of a job. In fact, they were going against each other. And I want to say, at least as of last week, I know Brian Cage went up against somebody, and I want to say within the last 2 weeks, RVD went up against somebody else too. And so I'm just like, I just can't imagine them coming off of television to come down here to Springdale, Arkansas at the Springdale Civic Center, which could hold a few hundred people, but I'm just sitting there going, And then there's some tag team that's coming that hasn't been announced yet. It's a special tag team. What's that, Terry? You saw Marion coming out of Fonzie's apartment? Marion. I know Pinky. Leather was there. Let's face it, half of Milwaukee was in Fonzie's apartment. If I was Fonzie, I would have gone and checked for STDs a long time ago. No. Okay. All right. I think we're almost ready to wrap this up. Saturday, though, like I said, Saturday, barring anything stupid, me and my executive producer, Donna Jo Catley, we are going to Ozark Mountain Wrestling, which is owned and run by Ivan Warsaw, who for 2 years was Knuckles Marsden in NXT, WWE NXT, 2013, 2014. And if I remember correctly, he was also in a WrestleMania. Oh God. Like literally, if I remember correctly, The Rock pinned him in 5 seconds. It was like a record holder of the quickest pin. I'm like, oh my God, there's your 5 seconds of television, Knuckles, on a WrestleMania. But so I want to talk to Ivan anyway about a couple things when I'm there Saturday, and then the following Saturday, I know Mrs. C, how could she? Well, she couldn't resist the Fonz like half of those other women. Why do I say half it? Because the other half don't know about the Fonz yet. Boy, here comes the inappropriate comment. He could bang them more than that jukebox at Arnold's. Oh! Hey! They all come running. Half of Milwaukee. Even Mrs. C. Yes, Arthur. Hey, Cougar. I'm so bad. I am not right. I'm not left either. Yeah, see, here we go. Hey. They were he was in Kansas City, like within the last week or two. Planet Con, it was Planet Comic-Con in KC, Missouri. They brought Fonz and Potsy and Ralph Mouth together. You knew that? I would have loved to have gone. I know where I could have got a hold of Donnie Most's album too. Who said he could sing? Oh my God. I'm sorry. I know we brought this up before, but do you guys remember that Chips episode where he tried to look like this satanic, like a la Gene Simmons, but it was like a Z-rated version of Gene Simmons. The Demon. It was called The Demon. I'm like, was it The Demon? I don't remember. It was something really goofy. I'm like, all right, whatever. And I actually thought I heard that was really him in the song too, by the way. They just, whatever. Ralph Mouth's alter ego. Whatever. And what was it? His dad was Howard from Andy Griffith. Do you guys want to... Oh boy, I can't believe I'm saying it. Do you guys want to hear my Floyd the Barber impression? Oh my God. Here, hang on. Hey Andy, how you doing? Oh yes. Andy, I was kind of curious about something. I was wondering if I could take, I'm gonna go off and be a assistant leader in the Boy Scouts over here, the Mayberry Mount Pilot area, I guess. And I was kind of wondering if Opie wanted to come with on a camping retreat, because I figure Opie might want to go camping. Ooh. You just want a little off the top, Andy. A little off the top. What's that? There's a band called Pink Floyd. Ooh. I didn't say it was a great impression, but it does make people laugh. Joni loves Chauncey, but she did love Fonzie. Hey, Cupcake, you're a little too young. Lenny and the Squigtones, that is correct. They did. I had that album on Casablanca at one point or another, and I love the rumor that was going around that the band member that you see on the back, they thought was Peter Criss. I'm going, okay, close, but not quite. Even Peter admitted that wasn't him. Oh, I forgot he had the stroke. Not to be confused with Billy Squires' stroke. Stroke! Doo-doo. Ooh, I don't care for that song very much. Poor Floyd. And do you remember in the first, was it the pilot or in the first season, for one episode, it wasn't our Floyd we were used to. It was somebody else we never heard of. Yeah, you know what? And I love that. Might have been another reason why I like 50s music. Damn, it was Happy Days. I came across today, and I'm hoping to go get some if there's any left. That's what she said. Now it's reissue stuff, but some of it's unreleased at that time. There's 70s and 80s pressings, but it's all of these obscure doo-wop groups, cheaply priced. Decent condition. I hope the sound quality's decent. I might just buy one or two and test them out and see how I think of them. And if it turns out that they sound good to me, then maybe I'll eventually go get the rest. Because I love all that 50s doo-wop, but let's face it, some of that stuff is pricey. I know somebody got really excited, speaking of that kind of stuff, that there was a red vinyl. It was genuine, not a bootleg. I did not know this, but there was a limited pressing of the prisoners walking in the rain on 45, and it was actually pressed on red vinyl. Supposedly, only a dozen or less copies exist in that format. They did bootleg it eventually, yes, but this was determined to be an original. I am told, I think that went into low 5 figures in an auction in the last month. I'm like, good God. 10 watching and only 11 likes. We could do it. Yes, please, but that's okay, Piccolina. There's I'm not going to make people do something they don't want to do. I don't do that here. Or they say, smash the like button. But whatever, I know you guys are watching. Coincidentally, Ralph Mouse, but that's what I was going on that. Yes, Howard Sprague was what the hell his name was? Ralph Malph's dad was an optometrist in the show. I remember that. I also thought it was goofy in the end. Wasn't it one of the seasons? Phil Silver shows up because his daughter is one of the ditzy. I didn't like the the Happy Days, like the last 2-3 seasons. I really just did not care for it. I thought it was really funny that future Jefferson from Married with Children was in there. I'm like, all right. Ted something, I can't remember his name right now. I just think it's really funny. Sit on it. That's right. Sit on it. Hey. I had a Fonzie doll back in the 70s. I did. And I had all those Migos supervillains. I remember when I was a kid, I made up some shit where the Fonz technically was a superhero. And if you think about it, Bang the Jukebox did. There is some type of mystical powers there. Yes, it is. Anyways, Jack Dotson. I'm an idiot. What the? Oh, was that the Floyd in the first appearance of Floyd was Jack Dotson? Is that what you're trying to say? He also hung himself in the movie The Getaway. Oh my. I don't think I saw that movie. There's a lot of things I haven't seen. All right. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Oh, so Jack Dotson, Howard Sprague. Okay, I get it now. I didn't mind Howard. I know when they made Mayberry RFD, which I'm sorry. Okay. Will I watch them? Yes, I'll watch them. I don't know why, only because you had, Aunt Bee's there in the first season. Howard, Goober. Is that it? Is that it from the original Mayberry? I don't know. I think, Andy shows up, I think, in the first episode, the pilot episode of Mayberry RFD, and then that's it for him. I think so, Terry. I really do. Oh, she's real good. Yes. I saw an interesting photograph today, by the way. Groucho Marx, Sally Struthers, and Carol O'Connor in Groucho's bed. I know that sounds weird. No, there's no hanky-panky. Everybody was dressed. Oh, my. Hey, John, how you doing? Unfortunately, I'm about ready to wrap this up because I'm going to have myself a small light dinner here. I know it's 7 o'clock my time already. I shouldn't probably be eating, but I haven't had anything since 9 this morning. Yeah. So, all right. Listen, I love you guys. I love you very much. I'm glad I got the best damn audience here in the YouTube vinyl community. That is a fact. I don't want you to think that I have forgotten. I've just been a little slow to finish this. This is the next Jukebox from Hell, Fleetwood Mac's Time. I'm about 50% done with the episode. I had some things I had to take care of. Yeah, see, there you go. And hopefully I'll have that done before the weekend, and then I can put that up. Like I said, I can tell you now, this will be a future episode of Jukebox from Hell. This will be. I can tell you when. I don't know. That'll be a surprise. Mr. Danny Bonaducci. Dante Bonaducci. I almost met him once too, Danny. I wish I did. I heard Danny ain't doing so good right now. I mean, I heard he's doing better because he's in rehabilitation physically. But I heard he's not doing too well. Yeah. Let me put this on something. Okay. Now it's on the list. Excuse me. No, I'm not sick. If you do have future suggestions for future episodes of JBH, Good Old Jukebox from Hell, you can always leave them in the comments any and every time. You can privately message me at all small case letters, PSYKO_DJ@yahoo.com. That is my email since 2000. I will confess I only check my emails maybe once or twice a week. So if I go off and don't answer right away, please don't think I'm ignoring you. I need to give Scotty Dog a phone call soon here. I meant to do it, but I've just been too busy. And then also I dropped emails to Maris and George Music for all 4 seasons. Hopefully they read the emails. I think I posted them in the last week or two to them about things I won't talk about here. But I love you guys. And thank the 11 people. I think I had up to about almost 15 today in here, and that's nice. I know it's Wednesday. I don't know who else is doing a show right now. It was fun being briefly on Mayo's Movie Mayhem today and briefly on Rach. Both of their shows, I was making cameo appearances, and I like doing that. Thank you. Good night, everybody. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, always powered by cup each and every time. Take care. God bless. Rock on, and have a good rest of the week, shall you? Yes, yes, yes. I hope to have a show Saturday afternoon.